If you're going to try this procedure without a BMW approved charger, I don't recommend going past the 2-minute mark. Today we have a 2013 BMW X5 and it is overheating. This car got a code in it for cooling system blockage. We tested the water pump and the water pump failed. So your BMW has the overheat warning light on. Maybe you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere, or maybe you're in Carlsbad. If I was stuck in the middle of nowhere, I would try this for like maybe 30 or 40 seconds. Just turn the car on, don't even put a battery charger on it. I don't recommend doing this, but if I was stuck, I would do it. Go into the bleed procedure and just see if the pump turns on and water starts flowing into that expansion tank cap. Don't open that expansion tank cap when it's hot, because you will have hot water come at you. This is only after the car has been sitting for a couple hours. If you can hear the water pump turn on, and if you can hear the water pump, and if you can see water flowing right through the top of that opening where you remove the expansion tank cap. This is what an electric water pump looks like. If you look at it from here, it looks kind of like a turbocharger. So it has an impeller, and all it's doing is taking water in. It's taking water in and putting water out. It's all electronically controlled. BMW did it for a couple different reasons. There's 3 stages of temperature that it wants to keep the engine at. It can keep it at 108 C, 104, or 95 C, depending on how you're driving. If you're driving moderately, it wants to keep the engine hot. That way it can use less fuel. So it can do all that because of the electric water pump. It can't do that on a standard belt-driven water pump. Then over here we have the thermostat. So these are replaced. You cannot see them from the top up here. They're down on the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to maybe quickly test it. This customer was out actually kind of stranded in the middle of the desert. They towed the car into a place. They didn't really know what was happening, and I helped them through it. We're going to put this thing into bleed procedure. You can do this also as a test to see if the water pump is working or not. If the water pump's intermittently working, it can kind of give you a false positive. Like it'll tell you that might tell you that the water pump's working, but really once you get it loaded out on the highway, it may fail and you don't know that. The test won't tell you. You do have to have the car plugged into a battery charger, a proper battery charger for a BMW. That car takes a lot of energy when it's on, when it's running. So the BMW approved battery charger, that Deutronics charger, is a very expensive charger. I don't recommend purchasing one to have just to do this test. The ROI wouldn't be good enough. If you're doing this without a BMW approved charger, do not run the procedure the entire time. The car will shut down. It can electrically freeze up, or the charger could overcharge modules and send too many volts through the system, causing other issues. If you're going to try this procedure without a BMW approved charger, I don't recommend going past the 2-minute mark. After 2 minutes, just shut the car off. If you're trying it without a charger at all, because you just don't have the resources for a charger wherever you're at, I'd try it for 30 seconds and don't go any longer than that. Either way, you can get an answer. You can see if that pump is turning on or not. You can get an answer pretty quick if you need a water pump or not. So now that we have the battery charger plugged in, the test procedure runs for 12 minutes. The headlights need to be turned on into low beam. That assures that the car won't automatically shut off. Bring the blower into the lowest stage, bring the heater into the highest stage. Then we're gonna hold the throttle wide open for 10 seconds. This is with the engine off. Do not start the engine. And then that will start the bleed procedure. Now that we've held the throttle down for 10 seconds, we're gonna go out here and listen to the pump. And this is a 12-minute long procedure. So can we hear the pump? We can hear it down there. Okay, now check this out. That's why I got a bunch of rags stuffed over here. Let's see if we can't see the water percolating. Okay, so if you look down there, see how the water's coming out through there? So it's just bleeding all that water out. It will get much stronger than that. This is just for your viewership to check this out. Don't leave this off and walk away from it. It's just gonna make a big mess everywhere. Okay, so here, come back over here, check this out. Don't get the camera too close. Okay, there we go. See how that's flowing coolant there. Nice and good. All right. There's a little bit of steam that came up. This car has been running, so there's some steam that just came up there. That is the bleed procedure. So this is a Deutronic charger. It's aiming to be between 13.0 and 14.0 volts. This is going about a volt over right now, which isn't too bad. You can see how many amps this is charging out. So this is acting like an alternator right now. And it is now at 40 amps of output. You could hear the pump running in the background. 43 amps is putting out, 44. So as motors are turning on and turning off, 45 amps. So I can hear that pump running like crazy right now. Be interesting to see what this looks like. Yeah, we're running coolant through there now. You can see it coming out. And it's pulling, not all that is 45 amps, right? So if we hear this motor shut off, it goes down to about 30 amps, and then it goes up to about 45. So that motor's drawing about 10 to 15 amps is what I'm seeing it draw. So it just slowed way down, shut off. What's it drawing now? 32 amps. So that motor is capable of about 13 amp pull at our 12 volt range. So it's pulling a lot of current through there. A shop needs to hook up some sort of a battery charger to this vehicle and do that procedure that I just showed you. Turn the headlights on, turn the blower staged fan to the lowest stage, and then turn the heater all the way up. If you have dual climate control, turn both heaters all the way up, both knobs, like this car has. Then hold the throttle pedal down to the floor for 10 seconds. Do not do that with the engine running. Do not. And then it'll start this whole procedure. From that point, you can hear it running. You can do this whole 12-minute procedure. You could feel and listen. You could feel this hose. You could feel if there's water coming through this hose or not. Call us. We put these parts in these cars all day long.